do, won't you listen to the man that's loving you? Easy, easy, and a 1, 2, 3. Easy breezy, won't you come with me? Easy, easy, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9. Why should we care for what they're selling us anyway? We're so younger, and you don't have to be led, babe. You don't have to be scared, babe. You don't need a plan. What you wanna do, won't you listen to the man that's loving you? Shadows settle on the place that you left. Our minds are troubled by the emptiness. Destroy the middle, it's a waste of time. A perfect start to the finish line. And if you're still breathing, you're the lucky ones. 'Cause most of us are heaving through corrupted lungs. We're setting fire to our insides for fun. Collecting names of the lovers that went wrong. The lovers that went wrong. We are the reckless, we are the wild youth. Creating visions of our future truth. And one of us will die before he gets there. And if you're still bleeding, you're the lucky ones. 'Cause most of us, our feelings, they are dead and they are gone. We're setting fire to our insides for fun. Collecting names of the lovers that went wrong. The lovers that went wrong. And you caused it. And you caused it. And you caused it.
Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Hour, and happy Confederacy Surrender Day. Happy Confederacy Surrender Day to you, co-host Kevin. How you doing?
Dixie.
Yeah, fuck Dixie.
Something.
Yes.
Quite.
I was.
So white.
Yeah, I was a little bit tempted to go find some music from the Civil War.
Well, South wants to rise again. We can always burn it down again.
Yeah. Music from the North, but then I didn't want to pretend like the North was completely without any, not at all problematic in some sort of black hat, white hat situation.
It was fine. What are you talking about? So, General Sherman definitely was fine with the blacks. It was fine, Kristi. By the way, he was very racist.
Okay. Yeah, lots of white people were racist. They weren't fighting for freedom of black people so much as, the idea and the principles. And
yes. Indeed. Indeed
yes.
So. Indeed. Was he more or less racist than Kurt Schilling, though?
Well, that's
a weird thing.
That's a weird question we have to ask. Happy Southern Butter Day. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, actually. So I was telling you earlier that when I went, I think I have to open it up. Yeah, can I open that up in a? So Robert E. Lee was trending on Twitter, and that's not Lee.
Well, presumably that's to do with the beef he's got with Sherman. Apparently, he released an absolutely fucking fire diss track on him, which is why he was trending
earlier. At some point, I was up here, my tweet you'll see a little bit later on. But that was a couple hours ago. But yeah, this morning, it's just very exciting for me because I don't get this much engagement often. And it was a lot of fun debating trolls today in my mentions. So yeah, back, I think we had a conversation on the happy hour back in like November about Confederate images and Confederate whatever, that the stuff that people were defending. And I was lamenting, not really like in a like, woo, but more like in an annoyed way, the fact that we don't celebrate the defeat of the South. Like that should be a massive national holiday. That was the day we defeated the traitors.
It should be. Racist rising against the country.
Yeah. Yes.
It still baffles me. It blows my mind that you've got, just obviously self-appointedly traitors, and you've got statues to them across the country.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What on earth are you doing? Again, if you want to have the average soldier went through shit statue, that's a different matter. That can be discussed. The idea that you would have Robert E. Lee statues and fucking Beauregard statues and all the rest of it is nonsense, even though Beauregard had undoubtedly the best name in the history of humanity.
Yeah.
Pierre Gustave Teuton Beauregard. That's an amazing name. But he was an awful person. So, the idea that you would have those kind of statues is phenomenal to me. It just blows my fucking mind.
All right, I have to stop everything right now because of a line. I glanced over the chat. I saw this, and I have to read it out. This is from ZXYO, who writes, I got a great price on a codfish today. It was a bargain of a cod.
Okay. I mean, all I'll say is, if there's anyone doing fish puns on this channel, the fuck out of my way, okay?
Yeah, well, they're coming for your crown.
Motherfucker.
They're coming for your crown.
You can't. You can't. I will defend my territory.
Yeah, another fish-based poetry here.
Do fish defend their territory? I don't think they do. Fish are rather more passive about it. But there we go. Anyway.
So yeah, sorry for the distraction, but now back to so during that hangout, whenever it was November or whatever, and the next day, or maybe when I was doing the audio for the podcast, which I've stopped doing because I'm lazy, but I was like, okay, when is Confederacy Surrender Day? I'm going to put that in my calendar now. I'm going to put it in my calendar now so I don't forget it. And I looked it up and it was April 9th. So I actually went to my Outlook calendar and I made all day Confederacy Surrenders Day on my calendar as a, like an all-day event. Yeah. And
it's historically complicated, as one would imagine.
You got to pick a day.
That I'm finding.
It's the start.
Well, you do, but the thing is, like, obviously Appomattox Courthouse and all of that jazz, which if you don't know the history, I'm not going to bother explaining it to you. But that's seen as like symbolically the end of it, because that was the major portion of the Confederacy army that was still going at the time. So that's fine. But in essence, it was over anyway, and everyone knew it was over at that point. And even then, it still continued though for like another 2 months or something. There was still minor skirmishes in places.
Yeah, there were after Yorktown too, and the Revolutionary
War. Exactly.
War. It takes information a while to travel, and
exactly. Just pointing out, becoming a thing, and it's going to be a theme on my channel, that what you think you know about history isn't really true. It's always more complicated than that. But yeah, you've got to choose a date. Otherwise, you could have a fucking 100 different symbolic events where the Confederacy died.
And I like this one because it's when
the government went from fucking Charleston to Danville.
You have to talk to the mic, Kevin.
Sorry. When basically there are lots of occasions on which you could definitely over. And then was it technically even over? What happens then? Do you say that the murder of Abraham Lincoln was essentially a Confederacy crime? When do you stop? In essence. But anyway, I'm babbling.
Right, but I picked the day that Lee sat his ass down and went, "I can't fight you anymore. You're stronger than me. I have to give up," because that was it was also April. So anyway, I picked today because fuck it. We need a holiday. We need a national holiday. And so before I was doing stuff this morning, I had this picture that I'd actually been saving for months. This picture, I saw in advance, and I knew I wanted to save it for Confederacy Surrender Day. And before I went out to do grocery shopping, I wrote this tweet, and then I went out and I did my grocery shopping, and I came back and it had kind of blown up a little bit.
Well, a couple of points, one historical and one just a more general thing. There is actually a kind of funny historical parallel, because the flag that people think is the flag, it's not. It's what was called the battle standard of the Army of Northern Virginia, or Beauregard's battle flag, which is the traditional, the Confederacy flag that everyone knows, and the idiots in the South, even though they claim to know and love their history, don't seem to understand was never actually the flag of the Confederacy. But one of the flags that was what was called the blood stained, the red stripe right next to the pole.
Sorry, you dropped a bit. The blur stained what?
The blood-stained banner is what it was referred to.
Okay.
And it was a white flag with a red stripe, vertical stripe going along the flagpole line. And but they found that in battle they would walk in, and if it wasn't particularly windy, the flag wouldn't flutter, and so people just saw a white flag, and so literally people thought they were surrendering, when actually they were on the offensive, and it would led to chaos. So they had to get rid of it. And they had two more iterations, none of which were the actual what we think of as the stars and bars.
Okay. I don't know where to go with that. You kind of let me down a conversational dead end.
That's fine. You don't need to go anywhere with it. It's just knowledge.
Okay.
It's not always dick jokes. Sometimes it's just information. Just give something. And on a point, sort of relate, but not really. Well, related to you more than anything, because I've during the whole COVID thing, it forces you to sort of reassess things or to say things that you wanted to. Like, it gives you time to reflect on shit, right? And I thought it would be good just to, especially because of the shit you've been getting today, just to, for a second, just appreciate the amazingness of Kristi Winters for a second.
What is this nonsense? This, right? What is this nonsense?
People don't get it. I know Kristi from like behind the scenes, and I'm a difficult person to fucking deal with, right? And she's got the patience of a saint.
No,
she really has, and a fortitude and a forthrightness of her opinions and stuff, which is amazing. And you get to see it. All types of people like Kurt Schilling of all fucking people. We'll get onto it. And yeah, it's worth appreciating that she's an underappreciated member of our community. She says what needs to be said, and it's not always popular, but it's worth fucking saying. And a person I'm genuinely proud to call a friend.
Oh, I'm proud to call you my friend too, Kevin. Thank you. I have a feeling of a sort of, I was struck with British awkwardness. I wasn't expecting you to say anything nice.
I have to have done with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me, this is, it's kind of, I didn't get to do all the videos that I had in mind because I'm lazy, and other stuff come up, like more Trump stuff, impeachment, and other things that just took up my time. But this whole thing about deprogramming myself from the American, how do you say this? It's like white supremacy is the veil through which, like a lot of white people are brought up thinking that they have to somehow own the Confederacy, or own the fact that, that Lincoln was racist, or somehow defend these dead white racist people from being called what they are, which was racist. And we take it, we're taught to take it personally if someone is, talks about Thomas Jefferson in a way that's disparaging. Fucking why? I don't have anything for Thomas Jefferson. I owe more to the my fellow Americans who are still suffering because of the white supremacy of Thomas Jefferson than I do to stand him over his being a rapist. But that's I realize it's a pretty radical view for a lot of white Americans who have an ego invested. And kind of like the same thing with the I'm sure with Brits and the Empire. The Empire was colonialism, it was exploitation, it was violence.
Oh yeah.
And yet, because in a history book, like the sun never set on the British Empire.
although that was sort of a play on word in the sense that it was based on the idea of it geographically being covering so much of the globe that it was part of it was always in the sunshine. Was the sort of joke, but obviously it's on the idea of eternalness and all the rest of it as well. Although I quite like and I forget who said it, but it was a brilliant line. They say the sunset was the British Empire was the empire upon which the sun would never set because God would never dare trust the English in the dark.
That might be true.
I am sober, PZ.
Yeah, hi PZ.
Yes. What was I saying? Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just about that same sort of
I'm quite looking forward to
twisted. It's about the way that you twist nationalism into defending white supremacy. Yeah. And so that's what this is about.
Doing well. Yeah. I was just going to say I'm doing the thing about apartheid, so I've been reading up about all of that, and that's pretty mad.
When I realized that America was South Africa.
The point about you could about Thomas Jefferson. That's like relatively ancient history, I suppose, to a degree. People like Winston Churchill, who it's within living memory, who people venerate as this awesome person, happily starved 4 million police to death.
Yeah, rather than acknowledging that and seeing it as a flaw, they try to excuse him and say he didn't do it, or say what he did was justified. Like, fucking why? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's the way that I see white supremacy reproducing itself as in people's attitudes and values being taken forward. And so, so when I crafted this, I crafted the language of it in a particular way, which was first to have the picture of the flag to give the sentiment, but also Happy Confederacy Day, then some facts around it. And then I said it was an early step in breaking down the white supremacist power structures we still fight today. Because the Civil War ended, but that was just a continuation on the path of the way that the Constitution is actually written exclusively for white men to hold power. And then they held power for centuries. And then as a society, we started to say, okay, we can start to let other people in. But then all of those white male privileges and norms and everything else are still part of the institution. All the practices, just changing a law doesn't change that. So I wanted to get that across. And people got mad.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting historical point, isn't it? That did the Civil War technically end with Appomattox, or with some other bullshit later on in the year? Did it actually continue much longer than that? Because after the very, very brief period of Reconstruction, it basically went back to exactly as it was. You'd have barely been able to tell much difference outside of what on paper was theoretically the rights that black people were given between, say, Mississippi in 1890 than Mississippi in 1850.
Yeah, there was a little bit of time where when the North was still invested in kind of like reforming the South, where things got better. But then Republicans in the Northeast, who were war profiteers, were like, why are we still spending money in the South now that the war's over? We're just spending it on black people, so who cares? So everyone wants to go, oh, it was the Republicans who saved. Like, no, they were as racist AF as well. And that was the whole, like, as you know, Jackson and the fights about. So anyway, and Reconstruction. So yeah, I mean, but the outcome was that nothing fundamentally changed. You're right, in terms of who held power, who had money, who had rights, and basic liberties. Yeah. Did you want to come in more on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to move this on slightly to Kristi. Why'd you have to be so thorough with your academics and stuff? Oh, PhD, Kristi. Oh, education, stupid.
Okay, you want to get to that tweet now?
That's foreshadowing.
Yes, it is. Because right in the middle of this, and I mostly replied to this because I got I got tagged into this. Now this is Kurt Schilling, as in Kurt Schilling.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling, the bloodied sock legend. The legend that is Kurt Schilling.
I mean, I actually watched him play like back in the 90s when I was dating a guy who was really into baseball. Absolutely not going to join the fam. Absolutely not. Oh, look, you can like $75. No. Oh my God. Anyway. So he had, apparently he works for the Blaze.
Yeah.
What? Is that right?
Does indeed, yes. Yeah, he and his wife do a religious-based show on Blaze. Yeah, I love him dearly as a player for what he did for the Red Sox against the Yankees that time. A lot of good, and always just fuck the Yankees.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is one of the most stupid human beings.
Yeah. Well, can
in
we
the
just
world, ever?
And I want to give credit to Miss Snarky because she's the one who actually pointed this out to me. I was too like, ah. But what he writes is, you too can get a college education and be able to write PhD in front of your name and type completely false, idiotic things on Twitter. And as Miss Snarky pointed out, you don't put PhD in front of your name. You put it after your name.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
I didn't actually read what he'd written until later.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's genius. And punctuation is your friend, Kurt. Please do try.
That is an amazing run-on sentence.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like War Corps, but if War Corps had previously been good at sport.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty shit. Well, to be fair, I don't think he's misspelt anything, but he's misunderstood a very basic concept of
That's true.
The fact that you put letters as a suffix to your fucking name, you stupid bastard. And I would say, and type completely false, idiotic things on Twitter, because false idiotic would be correct, wouldn't it?
It would be false, idiotic things. Yeah, just to be clear.
Be not idiotic.
So yeah, your PhD doesn't go in front of your name.
Yeah. Again, that's. Yeah, please. We're trying to stand up for the English language here, which is part of Western civilization. Why do you hate white people, Kurt? Come on now. Yeah, so that happened. So you got attacked by. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Well,
I don't know. He should be, but
I don't know
if
he is.
Then a future Hall of Fame.
Kurt Schilling made an ass of himself trying to own me on Twitter.
Yeah, which is amazing. Yeah.
So please go tell him the PhD goes after your name.
I think in the business that's what they call a dirt ball. That backhands twice before it gets there.
See, that works on 2 levels.
That does work on 2 levels. You're very correct.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then Kurt Schilling's racist fans were like, "Her der."
Well, I mean, I was getting tons of stuff in my mentions already before that, so it wasn't like I felt dogpiled in any way. By the way, I don't want to like give the impression I've lived through Sargon and Bering. This was nothing. Like today's was just amusing. This is me like being a cat pouncing around. Actually, I got one person who told another guy to delete his account because I owned him so much.
Well, Kristi, I'm surprised you got out. Frankly, you got out alive, because anyone who is a fanboy of someone taking a paycheck from Glenn Beck is some serious intellectual powerhouse, I would imagine.
Power whiff.
That's not at all like the most bottom of the bottom feeders ever.
Probably. All right. So yeah, so just Hiram here is saying, my word, there's a lot of dumb in this comment section. I don't know how you find the patience. Let's see. Oh, someone asked me if I'm Jewish. Apropos of... Yeah.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Shalom.
Yeah.
Top lol.
I got asked about my pronouns, why I didn't have my pronouns in my bio twice, apropos of nothing. Like, just randomly, why aren't your pronouns in your bio? And I'm like, what does that have to do with white supremacy?
I think Kristi's pronouns are Jew and Soros. I think that's how that works, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, what makes you think we surrendered, idiots? Some propaganda.
The fact that you handed over. The fact that Mr. Lee handed over his sword. Mm-hmm. Literally, that's how that works. Yes. Although he was giving it straight back, it was ceremonial, but you get the idea. He quite literally bent the knee, motherfuckers.
Trying to think.
The fact that you all went fucking afterward. So frankly, a great many of you should have been going to jail. It's again, Reconstruction did not go the way it should have.
Yeah. Actually, should I just...
Because frankly, I'd have paved over a lot of it. To be honest.
Right. Do you want some petty YouTube drama? Because, I mean, there's actually a lot. There's so many dumb. I haven't organized them or anything like that. So what I might do instead here, quickly. By the way, after this, we're not going to do too much of this. I mean, we're just going to do the celebration, spend like 20 minutes probably anyway.
It was just funny that Kurt Schilling got involved.
Yes.
It's rare that you have former world champion pitchers stride into your mentions. Doesn't happen that often.
No. It was worth a mention on the happy hour. I also retweeted Steve doing Happy Confederate Surrender Day. Thanks, Dave. And also Fuck Robert E. Lee Day. Yeah. All right. So this was a little exchange.
And anyone who wants to be like, oh, Robert E. Lee was nice. No, he wasn't.
No.
Nope. Actually learned to Robert E. Lee. He was a phenomenal racist.
Yeah, I saw some people.
And he did support slavery.
Oh, he was only
he was
like
racist.
No.
And obviously he didn't really support the Union as well.
Here's the thing. He led the armies to perpetuate legalized rape, murder, child theft, and forced labor. Not a good guy. It's that easy.
Well, not just that, but he literally did support slavery. He owned slaves. His family treated their slaves very badly. Not only did they whip them, they used to put salt brine into the wounds to exacerbate the agony. That thing he did on his plantation.
Yep, and that
he was an awful human being. When there were accusations of KKK activity on his campus at what became Washington Lee University, where he was the chancellor up until his death, he allowed that to happen. He just allowed that to happen on his campus. So the idea that he was some like it's one of the few aspects of the Ken Burns documentary that when at the start of, I think it was the first or second episode, where he says, oh, it was a guy that was against slavery and for the Union that ended up fighting. No, he wasn't. That's just not true, Mr. Burns. Sorry.
Okay, I don't know how to...
And he should have gone to jail. He was a traitor. He should have gone to trial. And by the standards of the time, he should have gone to the gallows. I don't agree with the death penalty. I'm just saying, for the time, he should have. He should have swung for his crimes.
All right, that's going to be kind of hard for me to transition to just some petty YouTube drama now.
No, I get that. I mean, I've thrown you a curveball that Kurt Schilling would have died for, but nothing you can do about that. It's just true. When you're dealing with, mass murderous traitors, people who happily oversee because of the racist nonsense that Robert E. Lee helped institute when black soldiers were allowed into the Northern armies. The prisoner exchanges were only going to be allowed, basically when prisoners of war would be exchanged between North and South, they would only continue on the basis that black soldiers were treated exactly the same by Southern forces as soldiers, and Robert E. Lee refused because he was a racist piece of shit. And so with the barbarism of places like Andersonville, which was a prisoner of war that looked very much like the remnant of Auschwitz. Skeletal figures, mass death, barbarism on a level that, like I say, should have led to the likes of Robert E. Lee and the leadership of the Confederacy to the gallows. And it's just true. There's no way of getting around that. If you talk about it, it's difficult to have to bring something like that up, which I realise is not A, suitable for a show called Happy Hour, and B, leaves you nowhere to go, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, again, where do you want to go with this? It's kind of hard for me to transition now to some silly YouTube drama.
Well, I can do another bit sucking your dick if you want.
But then you just go off in another World War II, you go down another, Civil War alley, and then we're right back to where we started from. You've done this 3 times now.
Probably. I probably will. Yeah.
Okay. Should we just skip this?
Anyway. No. Tell me all of you roasting someone, apparently.
Yeah, okay. All right, I guess it starts, as it always does, with the actual tweet itself. And then Tweeth Be Told, who is such a manly man. Just check out those guns. Right, so this is a guy who's going to come into my mentions. Well, at least that's a picture he puts up. I don't know if that's what he actually looks like.
Show on both levels.
Yep. Do you wanna play Tweeth Be Told, or should I do both?
No, I'll do Tweeth Be Told.
All right,
I'm gonna put on what I think is an appropriate appropriate accent.
All right, I guess I'll scroll down because we know my original tweet. So there you go. Are you still there?
The rise of the Democratic Party, rest in the KKK.
That's racist. In the 19th century, then those racists started voting Republican in the 1960s, and the Republican and the GOP is filled with white supremacists now in the 21st century.
That's for my lady.
He wasn't like...
I've added. I've taken an artistic license.
You have.
I think you'll find.
All the historical facts refute you. Let me scroll down now. Sorry, that was the whole... Okay.
How did you get the machine and the woman with the purple hair into the box? Oh my God, they're trapped. Sorry. Your facts, lol.
Your uninformed opinion, lol.
I'm uninformed because you say so. Clown emoji, sideways crying emoji, tickle crying emoji.
Thank you for reading those out. You're uninformed because I've done the research, and it's obvious you haven't.
And who are you exactly, Dumas?
Yeah, it's not Andre Dumas. No, different. Yes,
No. And by the way, I mean that's perfectly fine. I would say on a stylistic level, just a bit of critique for you, tweet be told, because I presume you're listening. I presume you're a fan. I would say you could have just gone exactly comma dumbass mark and avoided having to put the exclamation mark. Like you could have done one sentence. You didn't need to, because dumbass on its own could be a completely different thing. Like it works. I understand what you mean. Just a little stylistic joy there, though. Trying to help.
Yeah. Okay. So I replied, a published political scientist who studies, among other things, American voter behavior. What are your professional qualifications to characterize trends in partisan voting by ethnicity?
Well, look at you with your highfalutin book learning.
No, that's not what he said. You got to read what he said.
I read the Bible and it done told me you was a lesbian. Is what he said.
No.
In my head.
Yeah.
He said, what are your pronouns? It's difficult to tell. What the fuck? Are you a living non sequitur? What the fuck are you talking about? Sorry. I'm now arguing with a past person. Presumably he's still alive. You know what I mean?
No, he's DED. So no qualifications at all on American voter behavior. You posted an uninformed opinion, as I previously stated, and you've now confirmed. And then he tried to come back and correct me on a typo of uninformed. Damn, dude, she roasted you.
Poor dude. Yeah, there's no coming back from that. When someone actually makes that's obviously a typo rather than a misspelling. You think she literally thinks it's double N ninformed?
Yeah.
Or is that just a typo, you twat?
So yeah,
killing saying PhD goes at the start of your fucking name is dumb.
Yes.
A typo of uninformed is not really. Come on now.
Yes.
Especially when you've been asked for a specific piece of information and you don't provide anything. You've got nothing.
So that's my life on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, that's Kristi absolutely fucking going beast mode on a fool. Good stuff.
So that's why, it's this is just entertaining to me. I almost forgot to start the show. I started getting ready for the show at 9:37 because I was just, smoking fools on Twitter.
Exactly.
Well, see, the thing is, I put the pronouns in their bios. That's what they were trying to get at. They were trying to find, So the fact that they weren't there and asking was just such a red flag to me. So I can't fit anything else in my bio. It's chock full. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so that happened, but there's been some other stuff that happened, isn't there? There was one really amazing story of the Israeli health minister, who's an Orthodox Jewish guy, who said that COVID-19 was a punishment for homosexuality. It was God's divine punishment against homosexuality. Just been tested positive for corona. Which I think, if both those things are correct, that must mean he's getting some serious cock, and good for him.
Yeah, there can't be a rational. Yeah. I was eating in the middle of the show. I was having peppered flavored salami, so my eyes might start to water a little bit. Anyway, these religious fundamentalists who have to try to appropriate human suffering in order to advance their political agenda. It's not about the fact that Trump is, putting kids in cages, or the fact that he's, it's never Trump's fault. It's always the liberals. It's never Republican sins. It's always Democratic sins that they bring up. And it just shows that they're not interested in actually solving the problems of humanity, but in wielding power over it.
Yeah. And I suppose we should talk about the young Bernard.
Young Bernard? Who that?
There's one person called Bernard who we might want to talk about, isn't there?
I'm only thinking of black books.
No.
Bernard.
The
Bernie Sanders.
Senator.
Sorry, I would never call him Bernard. I would just, and especially not with a British accent. No, well, I mean, technically.
I'm just being formal, okay?
Sorry, yeah.
It's good to be formal.
I was so excited about my Confederate flag thing. I completely forgot.
That's why I always refer to the former governor of Florida as Jebediah Bush. I don't know if that's his real name. I hope it is. That would be amazing.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that. Make sure. Anyway, yeah. You want to talk? I mean, people are gonna get mad if I talk about it. So.
No. You have to talking about it. It's a thing that happened, right? He pulled out of the race on Wednesday. Did they even get results from Wisconsin? Did that happen?
No, because I think they're allowed to keep collecting ballots if they're postmarked on the 7th of this, which was the date of the election. Yeah. So they're announcing them on the 13th of April, which has never been done before, as far as I know.
Although, in one of the most delicious pieces of bullshit you will ever hear, the American Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, met in distancing, so they met by a conference call,
teleconferencing or whatever.
Decide, exactly, because obviously social distancing, and they're old as fuck.
Yeah,
so,
because it's fucking dangerous to go anywhere in a crowd right now.
Indeed, it is. So they met privately to protect themselves and to protect the rest of the country. In order to decide that the people of Wisconsin can go fuck themselves, they're going to have to stand in a queue.
I mean, it might not be the case.
Fucking idiots. Yeah. Conservatism is ludicrous. It really is.
But there's little more that irritates and agitates people into action than telling them they can't do something. And the people in Wisconsin, especially Milwaukee, were waiting sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours in lines literally more than a mile long to vote. Yeah. And they're like so brave.
But they were very polite about it being Canadian,
Well, I noticed that our queues were the social distancing in the Wisconsin queue there was another something I saw. I think it was an unemployment line, maybe in Florida, where the back of the line was fine, but the front of the line where they were like handing out forms was just a mad crush. I'm like, back up, motherfuckers! Give me some space. But the Wisconsin people were all like,
although to be fair, you've got space in Wisconsin.
We've got plenty of space.
New York, there's no space.
No.
Anywhere. So, what can you do?
Yeah. So, but I guess.
So back to
Bernie.
I'd better shorten his name in case you fucking misunderstand it again. Bernie.
Thank you.
Bernie Sandy.
The only Bernard I know
is
like Bernard from Black Books. I don't know any other Bernards.
No, there's Sanders. That's his name. Okay, Kristi. I'm sticking by that story.
Right.
Anyway, so thoughts.
Well, a couple. So this was inevitable. I mean, this was sort of like, maybe not, I think after Super Tuesday, after the second Super Tuesday, 2.0, we're like, okay, like he wanted to have his debate. He wanted to go on television one last time and make his case before the people and whatever. And after his debate, I thought he should have exited stage left. And so now I don't know, in some ways, maybe having him on the ballot in Wisconsin will help the state Supreme Court, because one of the elections that they were voting on was whether or not to replace a conservative with a liberal and liberal being left in the American political spectrum sense, in Wisconsin. So the fact that people were told they couldn't go vote and they were doing all absentee vote, maybe that got more agitation in the Democratic side. So who knows? But ultimately, one thing that I did question is that he said, although he's suspending his campaign, he's still actively like pursuing delegates, and he's going to try to get more he's going to try to get more delegates so he has more influence in the convention. But then I'm like, so you're fucking campaigning.
Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. But didn't he already backed Biden, didn't he?
No, he hasn't endorsed Biden yet.
Has he?
No.
I'm almost certain I saw a statement put out from him.
He might have said nice things about him.
He backed Biden.
But endorsing him would mean giving up his delegates, I think. And he.
Okay.
I mean, he is contractually obligated by the Democratic Party.
The point being, he actually said he would campaign for Biden to try and get rid of the most dangerous president ever. So like that's an endorsement. It's weird that he's still doing whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, here it is.
I don't understand how that would work.
We'll
continue gathering. Hang on. I need to get closer to the screen now.
Yeah, Sanders will
stay on. What?
Yeah,
that's really strange.
Isn't it stupid? Oh, piss off!
Like it's again, we discussed this before. When in normal times, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I don't really care. But why even just have those other states cancel their shit? No, and I realise there are other things, other down ticket bits that need to be done or whatever.
Yeah.
But at least you could then realistically say, like, oh, okay, well, we'll do for mail-in or ballots or whatever. And at the very least limit the number of actual face-to-face interaction type things that have to take place, right? Whereas this is just dumb. Don't do this. No, I don't. This is just peculiar and unnecessary and frankly a bit fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Like Sanders, and it's worth writing the obituary of his presidential runs and stuff. I think it's been worthwhile. I think he's genuinely made the conversation better. He's pulled the center of gravity left, which is good. Like there are things on the agenda now that really, really weren't. Medicare for all was not on the agenda particularly. It wasn't talked about.
Because we were talking about Obamacare last time. But anyway.
Sort of anti.
I mean, Obama ran on providing health care for everybody. It was the basis of Obamacare. It wasn't M for A, but...
M for A, yeah.
Yeah, but M for A is... But M for A is an idea that's been around for a while. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah, people are talking about M for A.
I'm saying he came up with the idea. I'm saying he's popularized that idea to part of conversation in a way it wouldn't have been without his pushing. So I'm saying the effect he's had has been generally a positive one, I think. The point is, and that's not to mitigate the nonsense of some of his supporters, and we might get onto that in just a second. It's been fun. I think in general he's pushed in a good direction, and I think that's what he wants to continue doing. But the time, I mean, exit stage, there are sometimes you need to leave. There comes a point where you have to just say, okay, I've done all I realistically can now, and he's old as fuck. He's had a heart attack, and take it a bit easy. And he's still a senator, right? So he's got other shit to do.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
And maybe step back from the limelight now. You've got younger people like the likes of AOC who can forward into the breach of like the leftist part of the Democratic Party. Which again, Bernie Sanders, I think, can take some credit. He laid the groundwork for a lot of those sort of people coming behind him, and that's a really good thing. I think we should remember him positively as people on the left. But the point being, now it's over. You need to actually step the fuck away. It's fine.
I agree.
You're not particularly helping at this point. And fuck Joe Biden, by the way. The fact that he's going to be the candidate is not good.
Look, pretty much, if you look at the total number of...
It helps.
If you look at all the candidates...
Increasingly difficult.
Yeah. If you look at all the candidates, Joe Biden didn't have a simple majority going through all of this. You know? He's everybody's second or third choice. Everybody's, almost.
Yeah, yes.
But
so it's not great, but the idea is, what realistically can you do now, other than vote for the guy? Like it's shit. I'm not asking him. I'm not saying, yeah, let's be all enthusiastic for Joe Biden because he's fucking garbage. He's a creepy, problematic piece of shit. But the other guy is so much worse. And you have to say, okay, what's the best we can do? What's the best mitigation of damage that can be done here? And just playing purer than pure bullshit when Sanders isn't purer than pure anyway. So the vote supporting Sanders means clearly you're open to the concept of pragmatism to try and achieve a better.
Oh, you dropped out there a bit.
Play that purer than pure bullshit. Otherwise, you're in the same situation as you did in 2016. So
yeah. You never get everything you want in politics. Even if you got Bernie Sanders as a candidate, it wouldn't guarantee him free at all because he doesn't draft legislation. He would have to work with the House, which means he'd have to bring on, Democrats from swing states where they have to appeal to their independent and former conservative voting voters. So he'd have to make compromises. And then you have to go to the Senate and do the same thing with people who have swing states. And it wouldn't be what people are saying it would be. It wouldn't. It was never going to be that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the fanboy pricks have been a lot of fun. And again,
I'll get one up
I
that
take
you shared
no
with me.
glory in this. The fact that Bernie it's over him. That's not. I don't like that. I've said before, but the fanboy people, the fucking pricks on the internet, have been such fun. The Bernie bros or burners or whatever you want to call them.
I call them burners because it's non-gendered.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to call them, whatever those people have been amazing. The Peter Coffin ones.
I'm trying to get the picture up right now.
Oh, okay.
I have to go back in our conversation.
Yeah. This is a person who tries to play himself off as like a well thought out.
Well, can I just say,
philosophical guy who understands theory and is well spoken and all the rest of it. His response to a very, very simple tweet from Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, so a lot of the former Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren all tweeted out really nice things about Bernie Sanders. All right. So before I put up Peter's reply, I'm actually just going to read out what Elizabeth Warren said. And then you guys can think of what an appropriate reaction to this message would be. Okay? So, #LimeGreenDildos. Thank you, Bernie Sanders, for fighting so relentlessly for Americans' working families during this campaign. Your fight for progressive ideas moved the conversation and charted a path for candidates and activists that will change the course of our party, and our country, and our party. That's nice.
He's nice, and basically what I just said, but much more eloquent.
Yeah, in a tweet.
So,
in a tweet. And this was Peter's reply. Oh, you can't really. Okay, yeah, it's not blowing up.
He said, "Eat shit."
Eat shit.
That's real grown there.
And also Bree Johnson.
But it's not born. It's not born of any kind of sexism. No. Obviously, it's not. It's just the woman who's spent the 2 months saying is an evil snake. Oop.
Which is why I find it hilarious. People are like, "Oh, Joe Biden should pick Elizabeth Warren for his vice president because that will win over Bernie supporters." I'm like, "Have you met Bernie supporters? Like burners? That's not going to win them over."
Yeah.
That's never going to win them over. But is it Bree Johnson?
Because they basically turned it into, even though Bernie Sanders does not represent the politics of Peter Coffin. I know that because I know the politics of both of these people. Look at that. Bernie is our hope. #. Oh, God. Just give it up. For fuck's sake, give it up. Anyway, they basically turned it into like a cult of personality thing.
Yeah, they did.
It's so shit. Wasn't your guy politically? He was going to do stuff that if Elizabeth Warren had said, half as much as Bernie Sanders would have been doing as president, because he would have had to, because that's how you govern, he'd have torn into her and said she was an evil piece of shit. Like, fuck that, man. Just give it up. God damn.
Okay. I don't know if you saw this as well.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Which is like a three-peat, but with French cheese.
Bree Newsom, she got kind of dragged all over Twitter because she did something very similar to April 8th. Maybe this would be it.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find her tweet. Nope. So this Bree Newsom base? No. That's not the right person at all. Anyway, I can't remember.
Presumably
Bree. Bree. I can't remember it. Anyway, sorry. One of the press secretaries for Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg.
Brianna Joy.
Yes. Yeah.
Brianna Joy Hart.
I don't follow his staff people, so I kind of just see it passively.
I don't particularly, but I see it pop up, and I'm okay. That's interesting.
Brianna.
I think it's
that's it.
Brianna, isn't it?
Yeah.
BRI.
Yeah.
Something. Brianna.
Yes. Brianna
Joy Gray.
And narrow down the search.
Pete.
She wrote a tweet in response to Pete Buttigieg saying something nice about, it was on my feed, but this was yesterday. And she just dragged him about like not supporting M4A when he was trying to say something nice about Bernie Sanders. People are like, what are you doing? He's trying to be gracious and you're just... Bree with a E there. Okay, but A in her name. That's confusing. I don't know how...
Yeah, it's a lot of French cheese. Yeah.
Yes. I think she might tweet a lot, so it's probably not worth going over it. But, yeah, she was basically attacking people like Pete Buttigieg for saying nice things about Bernie. What are you doing?
Oh, that's unbelievably dumb.
Yeah.
And again, they haven't learned the lesson. They haven't learned the lessons. Like, the thing is, in politics, you can be a complete prick and still be successful. You've just got to be more clandestine about it.
Mm.
You can't, like, if someone tweets out really nice things about your dude and you say, eat shit, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, that's on Twitter for, like, people can take pictures of that. You know, that's on there forever.
And I did.
Yes, you did. And now we've got it in the happy hour. It's historically recorded somewhere. Besides,
I think we've talked about Bernard.
Yes, enough. Okay, so one game of the quiz, maybe two. All right.
Yeah, day 6 we got to, didn't we? So
that's the questions.
Hello, I'm Jimmy.
And we're gonna mute Jimmy, and we're gonna really drop down the thing because that's unnecessary in life. And we're gonna zoom it up because playback speed, that's the one I'm looking for. 1.5 times speed. Excellent. Okay, so let's go through. Oh, here we go. All right. What number do you get if you multiply?
What number do you get if you multiply? Oh.
Lag. You want to go?
Okay. What number do you get if you multiply together all the numbers on the telephone keypad?
Well, you just go 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 15.
Hang on. Because there's a 0, isn't there?
Well, 0 is just 0.
No, because it's multiplication. So once you get to the 0,
oh, sorry, you're right.
0.
I didn't even read that. So it's all 0.
Yeah.
Shortcut, Kevin.
Presumably.
How do people in the in the chat?
I was going like, well, what? 1 times 2 times 3 times. I was like, oh, there's a fucking 0. Okay, fair enough.
Yep, we're all in agreement.
Right.
Chat is in agreement too. 0.
I don't care about what the chat have to say.
We're playing as a group.
The chat.
We're playing as a group.
No.
Hey, if we don't play as a group, we can't steal...
Kev's the ultimate individualist.
Well, then you can't steal our answers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm playing with the chat. You can play by yourself. But you're used to playing with yourself.
Myself, yeah.
Yes. Okay, when the Berlin... Oh, you're reading them.
Okay. When the Berlin Wall fell 30 years ago, there were 15 border walls around the world. How many are there now?
I have
7.5.
I have 0 ideas. I am useless.
Yeah, that's impossible. How the fuck would you even know that unless you're like a border wall expert?
Yeah, you're a conflict resolution person. I mean, I think there's
251.
Does fencing count as walls? Because I know in Cyprus, I think I was in. Yeah, I went to Cyprus once in my life, and I couldn't go over to the Turkish side. I was in the Greek side, and I couldn't go to the Turkish side because I didn't have my passport.
Okay.
So that's one. Israel.
You know the only government in the world that recognizes Turkish Cypriot?
No, who? British?
Turkey.
Hence the Turkish Cypriot. Got it.
No, because they're the ones that did.
Yep.
And they're the only ones that recognize Turkish Cyprus.
Everyone's else like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so I have no idea. 18, says by Pagan Man. Loads.
Yeah, it's unless it's like a trick, and there's still exactly 15 because the Berlin Wall got replaced by 1 or something. I don't know.
Also, Israel's built walls since then. Do they count? Oh, here's a sports question for you, Kev.
Which African head of state used to play for AC Milan? I do know this one.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Do you know, Kristi?
Of course I don't.
Okay. Also, there's an interesting story. Well, there are 2 interesting stories that relate to our home nations, our nations of birth within this one. Oh, by the way, the answer is it doesn't matter. Anyway, yes, the American one being that the nation for which he played and is now the head of state is Liberia, which is a country you may or may not be aware of.
I do know of Liberia.
We were talking earlier about the very reason that
the Confederacy.
Liberia came into existence as a state.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
repatriation.
What was called the pardon?
Well, it was an attempt at sort of a repatriation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a thing called colonization, where black people were sent to what was then called the Pepper Coast, because pepper was grown there. And there wasn't really a state there at the time. And the reason that they sent them there was because it was literally the piece of land that was closest to North America. So it was the cheapest to send black people from America to.
Of course it was.
And they set up a state called Liberia. Yeah. Indeed. So that's that connection to America. And the British connection was AC Milan, because you may or may not know that the city of Milan, what we call Milan in English, is actually Milano in Italian, right? So why would the club be called AC Milan? That's because it was actually set up as a football and cricket association by 2 British expats.
Oh. Who refused to call Milano in Milano.
Yeah. But then the fascists, under Benito Mussolini, forced the club to change to AC Milano, which they instantly revoked as soon as he was hung from, ironically, from a street lamppost in Milan.
So just to spite them, they took on the British
Well, no, because it was part of their history. They were always called AC Milan. I mean, the thing, isn't there? There's no major club in Milan called Milano. There's Internazionale and AC Milan.
The more you know.
Just a little bit of nonsense for you there. But anyway, the answer was George.
Sorry, you dropped out there. George
very
who?
Good forward.
George who?
George Weah.
George Weah.
Lanky, quite thin at the time, although he's a lot fatter now, old bastard. We were all there, George. He was a centre forward. He was very good.
There was absolutely nobody else who knew that answer in the chat, by the way. You alone.
No, David Jones got it. David Jones got it. Weah.
Oh, I just thought that. Okay, I thought that he was crying.
No. And Dage Portdale, the Liberian president, ain't it? It is.
That's true, but that wasn't which African head of state. Oh, yeah, they didn't say the name of the person. That's a weird phrase.
Well,
the Liberian president technically is a correct answer.
They didn't say what's the name of the person.
No,
they just said the African head of state. So, yeah, the president of Liberia is technically the answer.
Yeah, so actually Data Portdale was more right than you were. Okay.
Fuck you, David Jones. You didn't get it right.
All right, scrolling ahead.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Someone said Bob. Okay, cool.
Okay. You want to go? Here you go.
What kind of creatures are dinghy shears, the brick, Jubilee fanfoot, least carpet, dark spinach, Manchester treble bar, scarce vaporer, and obscure wainscot?
This sounds like a very British specific.
What are those creatures?
Very, very British specific.
I don't know. All I can think of is, they give like horses really strange names, like race horses.
Yeah, that's true.
These like stupid racehorse names. And it's the brick on the side, followed by Jubilee fanfoot and least cut. That could work.
That's plausible.
I have no idea.
Tony in the chat says moths.
Moths.
Mm-hmm.
Guess, or is
I don't know. Flint says cats. I think that's a guess. I'm sure I heard of an obscure wainscot cat before. They're Harry Potter plants? Possibly. Yeah, I can see that. Least carpet though.
Creatures, so I'm not sure that's fair.
So basically no consensus in the chat. We can't rely on the wisdom of the crowds in this case.
Just loads of fucking guesses.
Snails. Yeah, you guys are just writing random shit.
Well, snails are very much the horses of the insect
All right.
world.
Tony is very confident. He's not guessing. He's confidently asserting they are moths. So
okay.
We're just going to put the onus on...
We have a moth expert.
Yeah, we're going to put the onus on Tony. You own this. Number 4 is all you, Tony. Except for Kevin. He's playing by himself, and he's going with horses.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it Lepidopteri? The flies and moth?
No idea.
Maybe he's a lepidopterist.
None at all. 0, 0, 0. All right. Oh, okay. 1975, a band whose name is a palindrome had an appealing number 1 single, whose name is also a palindrome. Name, band, and single. So I would think of something like...
Wow.
What?
No, go on.
Well, I mean, I would... Like, ABBA comes to mind. But...
Yeah, that's... Yeah, 1975, palindrome, ABBA.
But then they had a single that was also a palindrome.
A respelling of Waterloo.
Yeah. So we're all kind of agreed it's ABBA, but we're about the song. What's the song? Let's think of some ABBA songs. Everyone goes for Waterloo.
Take a chance.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's also not.
It's not a palindrome.
No,
but it is. It
is a song. That is correct. Let's see.
Mamma Mia! A lepidopter does in fact study butterflies. So I was correct.
Mamma Mia, but that's not a palindrome, is it? Is it? Oh, it's SOS. Yes, close. You're right. It's right. Tony's right. It's SOS. Sending out SOS. Okay. The only I know that more as an Erasure cover song because I was into like gay dance music in the 90s. ABBA, SOS. Well done, everyone. Well done. Everyone who's like typing it now because we have a lag. Congratulations.
Rory Katz coming in with a stupid one. He says ABBA with Otto.
That's close.
That's not.
So Rosso in the chat says, "What is a palindrome?" Which is an entirely fair question. They're from Sweden. A palindrome is a word that is spelled.
No, palindromes are from Sweden.
They're asking. Okay, a palindrome is a word that is spelled the same backwards and forwards. So ABBA, and SOS. Backwards and forwards. There's a kayak or something. There's a couple words that have that characteristic, and they're unique, and we call them. Someone spelled Waterloo forwards and backwards in the chat. That's brilliant. That's very good. Yeah, sending out an SOS. I can I can only think of the Erasure version of it, and it's like a mixed version. But anyway, okay, but believe us.
Can't you hear me?
SOS. That's it. Yes. Da, 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 da.
How can I still go on? That's
No, I love it. I love it. I just go quiet because if you start singing and I jump in and you keep going, I just want to hear you. So now do you recognize it? So if you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS. That's the one. All right.
So you've got a good voice.
Well, you should hear me do hip hop.
Goat who's been on 40 a day.
You should hear me rap. Okay. I'm hitting play.
I have, and it's glorious. It's magnificent.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna do. Did I miss one? No, it's just a flash on the screen. Okay. Oh, excellent. How many problems did Jay-Z have?
How many suspects are there in Cluedo? 99.
Uh-huh.
But apparently his bitch ain't one, so that's good.
Yes.
How many suspects are there in Cluedo?
That's Clue for Americans. They're all doing palindromes in the chat now. They're not even paying attention. So let's see. There's Professor Plum.
Fucking palindrome.
Professor Plum, Miss White, Miss Scarlet, Professor Peacock, Colonel Mustard.
Dave.
Am I forgetting anybody? 6.
Professor Dave.
Who am I forgetting if I've done? You're right. I think there is a 6th person. It's like 3 women and 3 men.
Quixote.
You're no help at all. I believe it's... Orion's right. 99 and 6.
I don't think I've ever played Cluedo.
What?
I don't think I've ever done that.
We should play Cluedo. No. You must be able to play Cluedo online. We should totally play Cluedo.
My game was Monopoly. I love that game.
Oh, it takes ages.
How many hours make up Dolly Parton's working day in her 1980 hit song? And which year will Canada, Mexico, and that's the Soccer World Cup he's referring to. Right, so how many hours?
9 to 5.
So that's
yeah.
8.
Working 9 to 5.
Which year will Canada host? That's 2020. Oh, hang on. What year is that? Hang on. 20. Oh, fuck's sake. Come on. 22. So it's 2026.
Okay, so 8.
So what, do you add those two up?
No.
Is that what you do?
No, just have 2 numbers.
We don't know what the question is. We don't know what the task is on this because we haven't listened.
Oh, right.
But whatever that is, it's 8 and 2026.
Yeah. Who cares? We're getting the right answers.
With those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting the right answers.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just glad we don't have to do all the map ones. That like stresses me out, all that geography. I'm not good at that. All right. I guess so they've gone from geography to maths.
Yeah. Natural.
What age does Matthew Perry become in a movie when he turns into Zac Efron? I have not seen this and I don't know.
No, that sounds weird.
I know the answer to the second one though.
What number Downing Street does the Chancellor of the Exchequer usually live at?
11.
Go on, Chris.
11.
Yeah, it's 11.
11.
He lives next door to the Prime Minister. Although, interestingly, when Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, when Tony Blair was Prime Minister and Gordon Brown was Chancellor, they actually lived in the wrong houses because there's more space in number 11, and he had a family, and Gordon Brown didn't. So they just.
You mean he was raising kids at the time?
Yeah, like he had young children.
Yeah.
And there's more space in number 11 because there's less like immediate office stuff. So yeah, that was a thing that happened. I mean, I'm bored telling you, so fuck knows how bored you are listening to it. But...
people in the chat, where are you on this age that Matthew Perry turns when he becomes Zac Efron? We all got Chancellor. No, I don't think it will. We'll wait and see. But we'll just keep going at this point because neither you and I know. So,
no, that's forward. I don't watch things with Zac Efron, and I'm loath to watch things with Matthew Perry. So I don't,
Life Until Love says 16. So it's the only one who's given an answer. We'll take it. Put something down.
Yeah.
32. Okay. I don't think Zac Efron was 32 and Matthew Perry turned into him. I think. All right, 16 we'll say. What percentage is standard UK VAT when it's being charged? That is 21%, right?
Yes. Although it's interesting that Jimmy Carr is asking a question about tax.
Because he is famously known for having gotten in trouble for...
Okay. Luke Perry's Fox TV series.
Yeah. 502, or yeah, 50210. No, that was something else. That was Hawaii. 90210.
Yeah.
So I
just
know.
Guess a number from a TV show.
So yeah, I just happen to know off the top of my head, as an American, which house the Chancellor of the Exchequer of Britain lives in, and also what VAT is charged in the UK. Do you think I study politics in Britain? It's just kind of random knowledge. All right. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then we get the last one.
She's a spy. She's a spy for the American government.
I am. How old is Liesel in The Sound of Music when Rolf sings to her? Well, she is 16, going on 17.
Yeah. How many of the famous five had two legs?
Who are the famous five? I know the Fab Four.
Question, by the way. That's... Pardon?
I know the Fab Four, but I don't know the famous five.
Oh, you don't know the famous
No?
the Enid Blyton books? Very good.
Well, they're books.
Yeah, it's well, they're very British. They're like children's adventures.
Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't have.
And I'll give you the answer whilst explaining. There are 4 people and a dog, which is where the question comes from. And again, all with the usual number of legs per animal.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is 4. And they go on adventures and stuff. And they're a bit tedious. They're written in like the 40s or 50s or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know
the answer is 4.
Okay.
So
all
there
right.
we go.
Answers. Don't care. We just want the answers. We don't want your intro. We don't want your jokes. We just want the knowledge.
Hang on, no, you've skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting for a screen.
What are you doing?
I was waiting for a screen and I forgot they're just pop-ups on this one. So 70.
You've missed one. You've still missed one. Oh, for God's sake, Kristi.
There you go.
This is unacceptable.
Yeah, deal with it.
0. Fucking hell.
All right. I don't even remember what the 70 was. Do you remember what the question that was 70 was? Oh, no. We might actually have to listen to him.
There are now 70. That's right, 70.
Remember what the question was.
Yeah.
70 border walls.
Oh, 70 border walls.
Oh, border. Oh, there were 70 border. Jesus.
No wonder we didn't remember the question.
The Berlin Wall coming down showed what the point was, like the way forward. But since then, we've added 55 new walls. You fucking dicks. Humanity's fucked.
Agreed.
Happy hour.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. I asked you which African head of state used to play for AC Milan. It's George Weah. George Weah, current president of
Got that one.
Often called...
Yeah, I don't want to get it done for copyright, so we'll just let that go. I can't go forward now because I can't. He's just going to keep talking, so we'll mute him.
Yeah. No problem.
Tony was right. It was moths.
Moths.
Nicely done.
Tony, you surprised me with your lepidoptery knowledge.
Did you look it up in the absence, or did you remember?
What?
Moths were lepidoptery. ABBA, SOS?
No, I asked you the question and someone confirmed it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It is lepidoptery, moths and butterfly study.
Yeah.
Winged bastards.
Oh, you had to multiply the two things together. We don't care.
Okay.
But also,
99
we got the other one right too, ABBA and SOS, if people didn't see it. But we did. So 99 problems and 6... I can't remember what it was.
It was 6 Cluedo characters.
Was that the 6 Cluedo was? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And this was 8 hours in Dolly Parton's workday, and the year that Canada, Mexico, and
Canada,
USA will be doing the World Cup.
There is no way I'm doing math in public. I would just ask my dot. 17, going on 17. And 11 was what? What was that question?
The number that the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Oh, right, the Exchequer, I should say. Checkers. 90210.
Well, that's another place that the Prime Minister goes to. It's his country retreat. Checkers. 90210 and 20. Okay.
And 20 was. Oh, how old Zac Efron was? Was that or not? That this is the
shit.
No, it was this one. I think. We'll see what he says. Yeah. Come on, unmute a little bit. What are you doing, computer?
We get 64. How did you get on? I really hope you.
Yeah, I think we got them all right, except for the border walls one. VAT. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. 21 was VAT. That was it. Yes. 20. Oh, I got it wrong then. It's all on me.
Okay.
So.
Well, it used to be 17.5%, but then the Tories came in and decided, as it was the most retrograde of the taxes that mostly affects poor people worst, we'll whack it up to 20. There you go.
All right. We've done 115. I'm kind of ready to. I need to move my legs. If I'm honest, I need to.
Lazy motherfucker.
I've been sat.
I've given solid George Weah facts and AC Milan facts.
Yeah, you did. That was awesome. Good job, chat. That was fun. We should get together in like 2 nights and do this again. I'm enjoying this. We should also try to see if they can play Cluedo online. I'm sure there's got to be.
I don't know. I can be bothered to play Cluedo, to be honest. We should watch White Chicks.
Yeah. You want to what? About what? What chicks?
We should watch White Chicks. I told you about this before, didn't I? The worst one I've ever seen.
The worst movie you've ever seen was White Chicks?
Yeah. It was a Wayans brother flick. It was atrocious.
Yeah. I couldn't find any like free online version of Cluedo. Sad.
I'm not playing it now anyway.
No, I was looking up for another show. Like it would be a fun thing to do if we could do a game and bring some people in.
I've got over an hour now without a wank. So I mean, I'm beginning to get antsy.
You and your
exactly.
bodily needs at the end of the show.
My whittled penis.
Cluedo online would not be awesome. How could it not be awesome? It is all those ways of figuring out how to.
It'd probably be shit, yeah. Like D&D online. Shit.
They have it as a video game. Oh, maybe we could play it together as a video game.
Oh god. Oh god. No.
That would require one of us or both of us actually having. Yeah, Grease 2 was a terrible film. I will agree. That was, and also The Day of the Jackal. Sorry, we're gonna go. Okay, let's go on a rant about bad films. So The Day of the Jackal. You guys probably don't even remember that movie. Was remade with Bruce Willis. And it was so fucking shit. The whole movie was so shit. Some friends and I, because Bruce Willis was like a big thing before the 2000s. So wait, let me finish. Not now, Todd. And so we went to the cinema and we saw it in the cinema. And I'm just spoiler alert for The Day of the Jackal. At the end, Bruce Willis' characters die, and his death scene was so bad, we started laughing. All 6 of us just started laughing in the cinema as he's gurgling in his death scene on the screen. And then we left. We were like,
we could nominate any of the Fast and Furious films, literally any of them.
But they kind of get a kitschy kind of goodness. Like Grease 2 is terrible. Have you seen Grease 2? There's like a whole like deceptive. Oh god. Well, you're lucky. That's all I'm going to say. I loved Hudson Hawk. Don't you even say that. Or would you like to swing on a star? Okay, Hudson Hawk had its moments. It wasn't a great film. Have you seen Hudson Hawk? It's very polarizing.
No.
Have you seen any Bruce Willis movies?
I have to say he's one of the worst actors that's made it as big as he has. The worst ratio of shitness to actor to size.
I think he gets a lot. He gets to ride a really long way on Die Hard. Like all the other Die Hards, he's riding on the first exactly. Die Hard.
Die Hard was an amazing film.
Yeah, his entire career has basically just been.
He's not even particularly good in that. It's just
a
he's
great
less
film.
Hammy than the rest. Yeah. He doesn't say absurd shit like, "I will count to 3." there will not be a 4. Like, he doesn't say dumb shit like that. Although he does say, yippee
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
yeah.
How can you
Like-
love Independence Day as a dumb action movie and not love Die Hard as a dumb action movie? This is like saying, I like this sushi
I
roll,
do.
but I don't like that
No,
sushi
you're
roll.
wrong.
It's fucking
I absolutely
sushi.
do. No, I do. I absolutely do.
What?
But
Love Die
he
Hard?
doesn't have an amusing, stereotypical Jewish dad, and he doesn't have Will Smith punching an alien in the fucking face saying, "Welcome to Earth." So, checkmate.
But it does have Alan Rickman.
No, it's a great film. It's a great,
Yeah.
and not just that, but the black guy he's talking to on the thing was scared because he shot a dude once, and then he does shoot a dude at the end, and it's, oh my god,
Argyle, you mean?
it's amazing.
Oh no, the cup. The cup. Sorry, I was
yeah, the cop, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, and there's the other black guy, the kid in the
Argyle.
car that's listening to music
Yeah.
as
Argyle.
a huge robbery's taking place around him, and he doesn't notice for ages.
But then he gets in at the action and he punches out one of the baddies at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
so
a bit
Argyle
weird.
and Officer.
He does.
What was the name of the cop? Officer something.
Dave.
No, it wasn't Officer Dave. I feel bad that we're like, oh, Bruce Willis, and we can't remember the name of any of the black actors. Actually, I did remember Argyle because I love Argyle. Like, Argyle is one of my favorite characters in Die Hard. Some people in the chat help us out. Fifth Element, yeah, Fifth Element, it was pretty good. It's also.
He was great. Actually, no, he wasn't bad in Death Becomes Her. That's true.
Oh yeah.
Although again,
it's a comedy.
Cheesy film.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
What was the film I saw?
Oh,
my
The
God,
Sixth
I saw
Sense. Obviously, he was actually
one of
pretty
the
good.
worst films ever, as well. Again, starring Bruce Willis, unsurprising, but also starring John Malkovich. I can't remember what it was called.
Okay, yeah, I've got a new game.
Yep.
Okay, you go. John Malkovich and Bruce Willis.
John Malkovich and Bruce Willis, right? And it's a thing where they're international killers or something, but John Malkovich like lures him back into it. And it sounds really gritty the way I'm explaining it, but it's done as like a kind of slapstick comedy.
Okay.
It's atrocious.
All right.
It's the worst film I've ever seen.
Here's a game we can play. We can only play it once,
What?
though. I guess you can play it. Let's play good Bruce Willis, bad Bruce Willis, and we'll go through his filmography, and we have to decide whether or not the film is a good film or a bad film.
Red. That was what it was called. It was called Red.
Oh, I
and it
think I
was
saw that.
atrocious.
Was that the one with all of the?
It's
Yes,
so
it had
bad.
Helen Mirren in it too, didn't it?
It did.
And
Yes.
and,
Helen Mirren was like a
God.
femme fatale.
Yes, and what was the name of that? Brian somebody, the really big, sort of barrel-chested actor. I think his name is, or I can't remember. But anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So.
Oh yeah, but it was good in Pulp Fiction. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So actor. Yes. Let's jump to actor. This filmography, 127 credits, but is this most recent? Okay, we have to go back in time then. Sorry, I was confused by the list.
You have to go right back to the start. Mind you, the first few we probably won't have seen, or
No.
might not have seen.
Okay, I think we can start with Blind Date with Kim Basinger.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We'll have to. This was actually, I think, a pretty bad movie. I think this was. He goes on a blind date with, and they get in all kinds of hijinks. I can't see the general. 6 out of 10 is the general rating. That was his first, I think, post Moonlight.
Has he had work done? Because he doesn't look a lot younger there than he does like now, other than the fact that he has hair, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, he just owns the
So
bald
maybe
head
he's
now.
had.
Yeah. Sunset, I haven't seen that. Die Hard, good movie.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing film.
Look Who's Talking. Bad movie.
Look Who's Talking. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was the voice of Mikey.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry. Die Hard 2.
Bad. Yeah, it was not as good as Die Hard. Bonfires of the Vanities. That was a good film.
Look, hang on. You don't skip over Look Who's Talking.
I thought you just did. Who's
spelled T-O-O.
Yes, I thought I said.
So.
Oh, you're right. I did skip because I Die Hard 2 and I skipped right over. I didn't see Look Who's Talking To. I'm gonna guess it's bad Bruce Willis.
Of course it is. Awful.
So here's the question: Bonfire of the Vanities, I think, was a pretty good movie, but it's whether or not he was good in it, not whether or not the movie was good. kind of thing, right? That's the one with, very dated. Tom Hanks. Look at a young Tom Hanks. And Melanie Griffith. Yes, she was a star for a while. Look how young Tom Hanks looks in this. Looks like a high school.
Oh my God, he's like 10.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh wow.
That looks like him just before he wakes up in Big or something. You know what I mean? Like that's how young he looks there. Oh my God.
Billy Bathgate.
Death Becomes Her is a good film.
Sorry.
Again,
Wait. We're going out of order. You're going out of order. You yelled at me before. Okay. Mortal Thoughts.
I'm just looking at random films now. I don't even care. I cannot believe this is broadcasting. Why is this even allowed?
This might be the best part of the show.
Hell.
All right. Mortal Thoughts, didn't see. Hudson Hawk, I have a soft spot. Didn't see Billy Bathgate. Last Boy Scout, crap. The Player, don't even remember that film.
I don't remember that one.
Death Becomes Her, good. Good Bruce Willis. Loaded Weapon, that's one of those. That's got to be.
Loaded Weapon, what?
That's
Man Who Caravan, what?
Yeah, Loaded Weapon's got to be like one of those comedy, like, yeah. It's kind of like the.
Oh, look at the fucking mullet going on there. Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, I think this is a.
Still my beating heart. Is that Emilio Estevez?
Yes, it is. It's a spoof on the Lethal Weapon series. Yeah, kind of like Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, we have to watch that film. That looks amazing. Emilio Estevez doing a spoof of Loaded Weapon is
with Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
And John Lovitz. This is a film that exists and you didn't know about it.
No, this is amazing. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to.
You have to buy that now on demand. Just to experience it. Kevin's taking notes. You can watch it on Prime Video. It's only $2.99. I can watch.
I'm not paying €3 for this shit. It's Emilio Estevez doing a fucking parody. I feel like they should pay me to watch that.
All right, Striking Distance, didn't see it. Pulp Fiction. Bruce Willis was good in Pulp Fiction.
Amazing film.
Yes.
And he's very good in it.
Yes.
The bit where he nearly gets bummed silly with Marcellus Wallace is amazing.
It's a movie. Well, it's a scene that everyone who watches it takes away with them forever. You're never going to not remember that scene.
Yeah, amazing.
North, no idea. Color of Night, no idea. Nobody's Fool, no idea. Die Hard with a Vengeance, crap. Four Rooms I've not seen. Oh, he was in 12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys was an amazing movie.
He was in 12 Monkeys.
That's fantastic. That was a fantastic movie. Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Last Man Standing, don't remember. Don't know if I saw it. Beavis and Butthead.
He was in Beavis and Butthead
to America.
Still, my favourite bit from that movie is the teacher, the hippie teacher, singing, "The lesbian seagull she calls to her mate." Caw, caw. It's very funny. Anyway.
Bruno the Kid, never saw it. It's an animated movie. The Fifth Element.
Oh, The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
With Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Here's that horrible Jackal movie. 1997, I was in a cinema laughing my ass off as he was trying to do a death scene. Mercury Rising.
Armageddon.
Yeah, Armageddon.
Yeah. He plays asshole.
Yeah.
But sacrifices himself for Ben Affleck.
Good, bad, or bad? Good Bruce or bad Bruce?
Awful. Absolutely fucking awful. He plays to be not stepdad, father-in-law, soon to be father-in-law, where Ben Affleck is banging. Oh, what's her name? Oh, fuck's sake, she's not even in movies anymore. Liv Tyler.
Oh yeah, Liv Tyler, who did the
in Armageddon thing. With, of course, the amazing song which didn't at all become grating after the 12th week at number one. I don't want to miss a thing. I hear him. Fucking hell! I seriously, if I ever meet Steven Tyler, I'm going to punch him in his fucking stupid leathery face. That song drove me mental.
Can I just step back for a second here? Can we just admire the prodigious nature of Bruce Willis's output. 1994, he did 4 films that were released that year. 95,
well, yeah,
wait, 1, 2, 3, 96, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is like making 3 or 4 films a year. 1998, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films that were released.
It is. Quality over quantity
I'm saying,
is a thing. He doesn't need the money.
He's getting paid.
You could make good
he's
films
getting laid.
Instead, you fucking twat.
This guy's got it made.
He's what, sorry?
He's getting paid. He's getting laid. He's got it made. This guy's like just bang and shoot. He's got just paychecks coming in. Paychecks
already worth more money than he could ever possibly use. So why not make 1 film a year, but make it a good film? Rather than 5 pieces of shit that no one will remember, or people will go, oh, that was a good film, but he was shit in it.
Well, of course, he only could take the roles that are offered to him, and he did make things like The Sixth Sense and Pulp Fiction.
No, he did make some good stuff, but if you focus on only making good stuff rather than making money, which you don't need.
Before you start lecturing Bruce, like Michael Caine has got the crown on, I will take any fucking job that pays.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. No, that's true. I'm not saying he's the only person. I'm saying... Anyway, where did we get to?
All right, we got to
Fifth Element video game.
Yeah, Apocalypse. That's a video game version as well. Yep. Breakfast of Champions. Sixth Sense.
He was in Ally McBeal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who remembers Ally McBeal? Some 90s classic nonsense there.
When your skirt was basically...
What was her name? Oh, what was her name?
The main character of Ally McBeal?
Yeah.
It escapes me.
I can't remember her name now.
But do you remember how short skirts were in the Ally McBeal era? Do you remember it was basically like your minge was pretty... Look at how short these skirts are. Callista Flockhart.
Not a leg. That's it. She's not in stuff either anymore.
No, but Bruce, well, I don't know.
A lot of people aren't in things.
No, a lot of people aren't in things. I remember I had to... That was like...
I made 112 episodes of that. Fuck. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Actually, I remember ripping on Ally McBeal. It was very successful.
Yes, it was. Excuse me. All right, so good Bruce, bad Bruce. Got to Sixth Sense, Ally McBeal. Sixth Sense, we already said was good, right?
Sixth Sense, yeah. Good.
Story of Us, don't know. Whole 9 Yards was shit. Yeah. So shit. Yeah. It was a football movie. Did you see it?
Of course he was in Friends. Wasn't he fucking...
Oh, yeah. Monica?
I don't know the character's name. but
the brunette.
And I can't remember the actress's name.
Courtney Cox.
Jennifer Aniston?
Oh, the blondie? Jennifer Aniston? Okay. Is that who he...
No, not the blonde one. That's
the brunette?
That's Lisa Kudrow.
No, and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. The one that was with Brad Pitt for years.
Oh, right. Sorry, I missed that part. I think I wasn't paying attention and you dropped out. Don't like The Sixth Sense.
But I don't know. She was actually fucking him. It was like, actors are given scripts and stuff, and they pretend to be another person. I think that's how it works.
Yeah. Unbreakable. Did you like Unbreakable?
Oh, do I remember Unbreakable?
It's actually come out with it's one with Samuel L. Jackson again. Where
Samuel L. Jackson's in everything as well.
Yes, he is. Superhero kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
He's like really, really tough.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah. It's M. Night Shyamalan. Yes, who's also writing...
So presumably it starred M. Night Shyamalan as well,
then. At some point, yes. Heart's War. I vaguely remember it being around. I don't think I saw it.
I don't really remember that one.
Grand Champion. No idea.
See, he's in so much shit. Half of these films we've never heard of.
Okay, TV movie... Tears of the Sun, Rugrats Go Wild, Charlie's Angels Full Throated, but that was uncredited. Oh, The Whole 10 Yards. Was it The Whole 10 Yards or was it the 9 Yards one that was a football movie? The whole 9 yards and then The Whole 10 Yards.
Both were.
Wasn't The Whole 10 Yards? That did not need a sequel. That did not need a sequel.
No.
Of all the things in life that didn't.
It did not.
Ocean's 12.
I'm still waiting for The Whole 11 Yards.
Yes. To come in between.
That's a franchise that could run and run.
I don't think we get to we don't get to judge him as an uncredited role. Hostage. Sin City. Do you remember that? That was the
Sin City.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big film back in the day.
Yes, it was. It was very influential. Yeah. It was sort of like, I guess there was a...
I didn't know Baby Yoda was in that.
There he is.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, played for him. He gets around, that lad.
So again, playing kind of the same character as in this, Pulp Fiction, I think. But anyway.
I don't remember that.
In Sin City, didn't he play kind of a heavy, taciturn, physical guy?
No, I'd moved on. I was talking about that 70s.
Oh, I don't. Oh, right. Yeah, we're not counting shows. I was skipping them and just going to movies.
Okay.
Alpha Dog.
Lucky Number Slevin. Okay.
Slevin.
I don't remember him in that. There we go.
Okay. 16 Blocks. Voice work doesn't count. TV special doesn't count. Fast Food Nation. Uncredited video short. And then he stops doing stuff. Then it all goes downhill. So there we go. That was good Bruce, bad Bruce.
And then Red. There we go. Number 10.
Oh, there it is.
Red.
There it is up
That's
there.
That's the John Malkovich flick. And The Expendables in the same year.
Yes.
He made two of the worst films that
he was in
the same year.
He didn't make it. He was in. It was an uncredited role in The Expendables, to be fair. He just turned up on set one day. Yeah.
In The Expendables, he plays like the bad guy. Or, well, no, he's one of the good guys, really, but he's like an anti-hero who oh God, who's the main character in that? Oh, Sly Stallone. Oh, God, there's some trash in that film. And he comes back to be like he's going to come back for one more gig or something because he needs something doing because he owes money to shady Russians or some shit, and it's just wank.
Oh yes, and John Malkovich plays like a guy who's really brainy and nervous, right? Something like that.
Yeah, kind of, but they're like international hitmen people, and they talk about
Brian Cox.
International hitmen never would.
Brian Cox.
There we go. I was thinking you were talking about Brian Blessed, and I thought he definitely wasn't in.
No, but he is a Brian. Okay. He's definitely a Brian, though.
He's an excellent. Yeah, played an exceptional Goering in the Nuremberg film.
Oh, I didn't see that. Morgan Freeman was in there. Richard Dreyfuss.
I didn't realize. I can't even. I didn't even remember that Morgan Freeman was in there.
No, nor did I.
There was so much shit in there that I think Morgan, you've made so many good films.
Ernest Borgnine was in that fucking movie. Ernest Borgnine.
Oh, Jesus.
And Carl Urban as well.
Is he dead? I mean, he's been dead a while.
I don't know. Well, this was, he might be by now, yeah.
I can't. Oh, God.
Oh, finally, Bruce. Okay.
Yeah. What's his wife's name? Mary Louise Parker. There we go. She was all right, but she just played again. It's so hammy that you can when a bad director is like, because the characters are just it's difficult to tell. Like it has the makings of a film if they pitched it as this is a serial thing, like not serial, serious, like a piece about an international murderer guy who's like a hired hitman who go back for one more kill. It could be a good film, or at least a passable one. But they do it as like a knockabout clip. It's just awful. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it kind of Pink Panther style.
That film.
Yeah, if you do it kind of like Pink Panther style, where one person is obviously a comedy character and everyone plays it straight around that character, I think it's really hard to kind of get campy. It's a really difficult line, tightrope to kind of balance on.
Yeah, because you can't be doing like witty one-liners as you're killing people. Otherwise, it becomes which is to be joke, and it's like an institution. Whereas you're doing like a new thing with characters we don't know, and it's sort of they don't like people who go around the world killing people for money don't act like that because they know it's a very serious thing. Anyway.
Yep. And yeah, Flint, I think we had the conversation before that earlier picture. We also agree looks like Prague. We thought so the same. Who is outside their house?
Oh,
somebody's outside. What are they doing?
I didn't. Well, no, it's not that I didn't mix up Red and The Expendables. I was talking about Red, and then I went on to talk about The Expendables. So I was
because did I make it clear?
Whoa, you went all kind of crazy stuff then. Brian Blessed would have been awesome in The Expendables. That is a very true statement as well. Can you imagine Brian
that would
Blessed?
have been amazing. Yes.
All right.
They're all doing their series like, oh, I've come here to kill you, man. And hello,
Yeah.
how are you, Bruce? That would be amazing. Brian Blessed would make anything better. Just because it would destroy the tension of like Schindler's List, but it would be ridiculous and funny.
I really enjoyed when he was on Have I Got News for You that one time, and he was just talking so loud all the time, and people were running like.
Well, even when he's like talking normally, it's louder than a normal person.
Yes.
Like he would have to whisper to be at like his inside voice must be literally him choking to death or something. I don't know.
Big booming voice.
Anyone.
All right. Well, okay.
So anyway, that was good Bruce, bad Bruce.
We literally made up a game for you guys.
Mostly shit.
Yeah, it was mostly shit. I would say it was like 60% shit. No, probably 65% shit. But there's some really solid works that he will be remembered for. Well,
I think you allow the fact that he's in very high budget movies with other good actors to distract you from the fact that he himself is shit. You get distracted by Ernest Borgnine and Brian Blessed.
Well, I was thinking more of he did carry The Sixth Sense, and what else was he good in? This is hard. Okay, I think he did a good job as
the fact that you've come up with one and you're struggling.
No, I'm just trying to decide of action movies, and I think he obviously carried Die Hard and Pulp Fiction. He also had a really memorable. You can say that he did great as an actor, but that's his fucking job.
Carry Die Hard? No, bollocks. He didn't carry Die Hard. Alan Rickman carried Die Hard.
Okay, Alan Rickman was a great baddie, but John McClane got all the best lines. I mean, okay, Hans Gruber had some really awesome lines.
He's the hero. That's supposed to happen.
Yes, but I think their interplay was good.
Rickman had to carry a film whilst shooting innocent people dead. Yeah.
He had to outthink a guy who was obviously smarter than him. And he had a singing career? Yeah. Kind of. Like he sang.
Not really.
He sang.
Not really. Yeah.
Oh,
technically, that's not a career.
No. I think a career is when you get paid for a long time. And yes, Brian Blessed was amazing as Augustus in I, Claudius. Everybody in I, Claudius was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you for clarifying, because for a second there, I thought they were saying Bruce Willis.
No, Brian Blessed.
I watched that, and he's definitely not Augustus in I, Claudius.
Everybody in. There was not a weak character anywhere. They were all fabulous. That's just, star-studded. He got Henry V, helped get Henry V funded, or helped out Brenna to make that. Yeah. All right. Well, you still there, Kev?
Fair enough. I think we've definitely worn out now. This is definitely over. Why are we still broadcasting this?
Yeah, we had to make up a whole game just to keep the chat entertained for 20 minutes. Oh no, McClane! No, McClane.
Well, we should talk about actors
movies.
that are good instead. We should do a good, I don't know, a good Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah, I could do that. By the way, I agree with Kat in the chat who says seeing Patrick Stewart with hair was freaky though. As Sejanus.
Yeah.
I was like, Patrick Stewart's been the same age since the 1970s. I'm convinced. Absolutely.
Almost certainly. Yeah.
He's just never.
I tell you what's even weirder. I found my brother once because he didn't know that Stephen Hawking wasn't always disabled, and I showed him some old film of him walking. Fuck! It blew his mind. So that's very similar to Patrick Stewart now being bald. Definitely.
Well, we're all used to him being bald, and then we go back in time. And we're like, oh my god, he has hair. I can't process.
Yeah.
Just shave it off.
Imagine that. Well, technically, humans are sort of born mostly bald.
That's true. We are.
But you do grow hair. Everyone grows hair, don't they? So.
Somewhere. Sometime.
Somewhere. Well, yes, okay. You had to take it to a dirty place. Disgusting.
Well, it is the happy hour. And on that crotch bombshell.
Indeed.
Yeah. I inevitably we're gonna both do a happy hour before we do any more created content in any meaningful way. So
That's not true. That's not technically true. I've got a very short video coming out on my history. I say very short. It's like 4 minutes or something.
Oh, okay. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
I'm doing a new series called Lies, Damn Lies in History, which is like bite-sized videos taking down misconceptions from history. The first one's about Napoleon.
Okay. Hence you were all warmed up for your various debunkings of Civil War ending dates.
I suppose I could do one on like, well, did the Civil War really end, Appomattox? The answer is basically sort of yes and sort of no.
So there you go. I gave you a new idea for a video. All right.
Again, basically the whole point of it is history is not what you think it is, and it's always way more complicated.
Yeah, and when is that video coming out?
Napoleon wasn't really French, for instance.
Oh, he was from Corsica.
Indeed, and his family were Italian.
Mm. And he was involved with a sort of like he tried to lead a revolution on Corsica, and they sent him off to France and told him to fuck off, and that's how he ended up heading over and joining the military school, right?
And he wasn't short.
Are you sure about that one?
Yeah, he was 5'6", which was average height for the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
so
reason we think of him as short is because of English propagandists who decided to pick him as short because usually military leaders were cavalrymen who were 6 foot plus. So there you go.
Okay, so when is that video coming up?
Probably not before we do the next one, but just because you were so declarative that it definitely wasn't. I thought,
now it has to come out before we do another one.
Well, no, I just thought, well, it might come out, so I don't want people to be like, "Oh, you said it was," because people do. People give a shit about that. I don't know why. Why you give a fuck when someone puts the video out? I don't know, but people do. Yeah. Especially because I've always made it very clear I make videos whenever I can be bothered. There's no fucking set schedule with me, which the algorithm doesn't like. But fuck the algorithm.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so. Yeah, on that defiant bombshell, I think we're going to wrap up the show.
Exactly.
Thank you guys in the chat for playing along. Next time I'm happy to keep, repurposing content from Jimmy Carr. So if we can keep this up, I'm happy to do keep up the quiz and the lockdown mixed in with some other nonsense and some important stuff, inevitably. So yeah, I guess we all have to return to our real lives now. So thanks to the chat for sticking with us, giving us your answers, and contributing. Thank you to people in the future for dealing with all this nonsense and watching all the way to this point. Thank you to my co-host, Kevin, who was surprisingly nice and gave me compliments I didn't expect and made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So, anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, then goodbye from me.
Thank you for having me on.
My co-host. Goodbye from me and goodbye from Kevin. Say goodbye, Kev.
Goodbye, Kev.
Yay! Did the bit.